is the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Hope everybody is doing well. It's been a long time coming, but as y'all can see, I am so excited to be back. And I know it's been a long time since everybody heard from me, but nevertheless, through the grace of God, I finally get back on my feet. I got all the equipment I need to make sure that my shows are running smoothly. So again, I thank everybody for all the support. Please make sure you hit the like button. You already know the content is going to be on point. I'm going to always deliver with the sermons. So getting into this right away, y'all, I thought it was imperative that I talked about this because we all know this has been a situation going on for quite some time, but it's gotten to the point now to where it is costing a lot of successful men not only money, not just their reputation, but most importantly, their peace of mind. Okay, so I know y'all been hearing about Shannon Sharpe, whom is a former NFL player. He's had a longevity as far as an athlete, being in the NFL for many, many years, and he's one of the few that have made it out successfully and, still has been able to benefit. He's done many endorsements. He's done many shows, he's basically made a name for himself, even after his NFL career. And the most recently in which how I got to know him was his show Club Shay Shay. And a lot of the guests that he brought on the show played a major part in the reason for why his podcast became so successful. Cat Williams being one of many who definitely started exposing the industry. And he also even warned Shannon Sharpe, that he has to be mindful when it comes to dealing with these snow bunnies, okay? So he's been forewarned, and even Monique, the comedian, told him the same thing. So it's very ironic that the show in which continued to elevate his career ultimately ended up being demise of that. And the reason I state that is because the guests that he brought on the show forewarned him, and who knew that these very things that he was warned about, he was going to come into full fruition. And now it looks like all of these allegations, and we're going to say alleged, may play a significant part in his career going downhill. And who would want to, at the age of 50, I think he's 54 or 56, who would want to this late in the game, lose everything that they worked so hard for? But it's that male incubus spirit that is ultimately the demise of these men's marriages, their career, their finances, and most importantly, their integrity. Now, y'all been used to me doing a succubus series for quite some time. And for those of you who are just kind of, joining in, or you're not really familiar with some of my content and some of the series that I have done, for a significant amount of time, I kept covering the succubus spirit, which is the Jezebel spirited woman, whom is sent on assignment by the devil himself to destroy and sabotage a man's well-being, his marriage, his comfortability, basically men who lack spiritual discernment, how they can easily fall prey to the succubus woman, which is a woman that is sent on assignment to kill, steal, basically destroy everything a man has built for himself, right? And it's basically because men who put themselves in this position are men who lack spiritual awareness. They lack spiritual discernment, and they basically don't have any discipline over their demonic sexual urges. And this is what happens when men like Montel Holt, that I've done covered several succubus series, and basically I broke down the elements how Martell ended up falling prey to his own lustful demonic desires by getting involved with the succubus Jezebel spirited woman, Ariane Curry, which we all have witnessed his downfall. Ever since the moment he encountered her, he's lost his marriage, he's lost plenty business opportunities, and ever since then, he has been like a tornado. He's been spiraling out of control, trying to destroy everything in its path. So, his world, even to this day, has continued to crumble. He has not gotten ahead. He has not prospered. There has been no growth. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that he allowed the succubus spirited woman, he entertained her, and she very well became the reason for his downfall. And as men have to be careful, so do women. And in this instance, we're talking about the male incubus. And I'm going to be talking about the male incubus, and I'm going to be making a series on doing this just for a little while, because I don't think a lot of women out there are spiritually woke. And they're so blinded by the bling. They're so blinded by a man's success, how much money he has in his wallet, And some women are turned on just by the mere fact that there are other women drawn to that same male incubus that she's drawn to. But nevertheless, these men are men that are sent on assignment from Satan himself. He is recruiting a lot of male incubus men out here. And basically, he's recruiting men that are spiritually demonic, that will become a demonic hindrance to women who want to grow, who want to prosper, and who want to elevate. And the male incubus comes in all type of forms, okay? He's not just the guy, like I said, standing outside the liquor store dirty, wearing the same clothes for 2 months, hair knotted up. He's drinking out of a bottle of whiskey out of a brown paper bag, It's not just unattractive men or men whom we would not choose as our preference as an incubus. Incubus are black men, white men, old men, younger men, men who are successful, even millionaires, even billionaires, can very well be incubuses. And basically, they are men that are sent on assignment, worldly men, put it that way, not spiritual men, worldly men that are sent on assignment to kill, steal, and destroy a woman's purpose. The same thing that I told you about the succubus spirited woman. She is assigned to destroy a man's purpose. And if he's not spiritually woke, he will lose everything that he has going for himself. And that's the same thing with you women. So y'all got to be careful. Stop being so infatuated with securing the bag that you overlook the spirit that man carries, right? So male incubus series, men who lack unhealthy sexual urges will eventually ruin themselves. A man that does not have a purpose, it's easy to subject himself and attract himself to all the wrong things. And that is the same case with a woman. If you don't have your own self-confidence, if you don't have your own self-worth, and most importantly, if you don't have a connection or a relationship with God, the enemy knows what type of man to send to you to make you lose your purpose, to get you distracted. The devil can't tempt you with something that does not have your interest. Okay, for instance, if I don't smoke cigarettes, the enemy cannot tempt me with cigarettes because I don't smoke. But he can tempt me, allure me with the things that I am attracted to. in my worldly nature, right? So the enemy knows how to send an incubus, well dressed, in a nice presentable package, the biceps, the triceps, men that are very appealing to the eye of a worldly minded woman who lacks spiritual discernment. And part of being worldly minded is anytime a woman is very materialistic. And let's just face it, a lot of women have ruined themselves off the mere fact that they have chosen men who are capable of financially securing them, even if it means it comes with him being abusive, it comes with him being very volatile, it comes with him being very narcissistic, it comes with him being a habitual cheater, if not materialistic, just his physical appearance. Let's just face it, some women are still, it's a lot of sisters who are man struck. And what I mean by that is they got to have a man. They cannot function without a man. I know some women, and some of y'all sisters out there, y'all may know women like this yourself, or you may be that woman. I know some women that do really good when they are by themselves. Do really good. Bills paid. Life is in order. You can just tell that they're in a good space in their life in which they basically have it together. And all it takes is for them to get distracted by this male incubus who walks right into the bar, well dressed, 6'9", chocolate skin, looking like a tall gallon of chocolate Haagen-Dazs. I mean, just appealing. Only for her to become so infatuated with his physical that she will take a chance and basically let go of everything that she has built and accomplished just to get this man's attention, only to give him the privilege of having entrance into her life, also in between her legs, which eventually, once he's able to get the prize between your legs, he's sooner than later going to also have the advantage of getting through your head. So once he basically has accomplished that secret weapon, that a lot of women abuse and misuse, and it has came back and costed us in multiple ways. Once he gets between your legs, he's definitely going to get in your head. Bottom line. And what tends to happen is the male incubus, he can smell a desperate woman a mile away. The incubus can smell a gullible woman a mile away. The incubus can smell a young woman around the way. The incubus can smell an old dummy from a mile away. The incubus has the senses of a pit bull. He can smell a woman who lacks discernment. And if you are a woman who lacks discernment, you will easily fall prey to the incubus. Okay? And that is the chance that you take when you allow your earthly or worldly desires to overrule discernment. Again, do not allow your earthly desires to overrule your spiritual discernment. Desires over discernment leads to destruction. And it does. So, I say all of that to say this, because I know y'all wondering, what does this have to do with Shannon Sharpe and these industry men? And let me also make this clear. It's not just men in the industry. You got to be careful for these Bob the Builders, these builder bums, you know what I mean? I was getting ready to say, people love to call when I'm doing sermons. Martell Holt, it doesn't have to be a man of high celebrity status like Shannon Sharpe, or Diddy, just the average guy. An incubus comes in on so many different levels. So don't ever underestimate and believe that it's only men of high prestige, because it is not. Nevertheless, y'all, Cat Williams and Monique warned Shannon Sharp. And the problem is with the male Incubus, they think that they are invincible, and they think they got the game on lock, and they think that they are not capable of, getting exposed and getting exploited due to the unhealthy sexual nature within the type of women that they choose. And in many cases, these are girls. Call it what you want to call it. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, these are grown women, so it's not really pedophile. It's not, it's not taking advantage of a child. But with all due respect, and the same thing goes for a woman. Like with Drea Michelle, her having a child from a young boy who is the same son as her son, I hold women accountable like I hold men accountable. I mean, you 40 years old, you knew what you was doing when you picked up a boy that young. You get what I'm saying? So my thing is, the law should not have to give you an age limit. It's common sense. It's your morals. So anyone that is dealing with somebody that young, that's barely in their 20s, and you are damn near in your 50s, middle 50s, approaching your 60s, there's a mental malfunction. There's nothing you can tell me to make that make sense. Well, she's an adult. She's 18. It's not about age. It's about your morals. It's about your character. Again, and it's about your spiritual discernment, right? But I'm going to take y'all down memory lane in case y'all forgot when Shannon Sharp was forewarned. So let's get to it, because I know it's been a while for some of you. So let me refresh your memory.
Woman, because I was scared.
I'm grateful.
I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
Come on, Cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. I don't. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get your old bitch out there. You trying to hang out with these young bitches, and you can't do it, Sandy. You just can't do it. And they want you to go for the 4th round. You looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks? Yeah, because I can't go no further.
I didn't.
Tell the truth, shame the devil. And here it is. Shannon went down like the king of the conqueror. He thought he was on top. And all it took was this young OnlyFans. I mean, plain Jane. I mean, no disrespect, but she was not even worth a Burger King coupon for him to lose all of what he has lost. Now, I also wanted to share this with you as well. I think this guy broke it down, the mindset of the Incubus male who's into these little girls, because that's how I see them. I don't care if they're 18 and legal. I still feel like they are children. That's like me being 45 years old and I am involved with a 18-year-old, 19-year-old man. I'm dealing with somebody's son, an 18, 19-year-old male. That just doesn't suit well with me. That's still a child to me. I mean, I get people want to date younger, but I mean, once you go over 5 years, 10-year difference, I mean, you start really pushing it after that. But anyway, I'm going to let this guy speak because he broke it down in a very logical sense. So I'm going to let him speak on this as well. And we're going to go into it a little bit more.
Man on this platform, if you are in your 40s or 50s, can you please leave these 20-year-old girls alone? I don't care if they came on to you and you got a little adrenaline rush like, oh, I still got it. I remember when I was in my 20s, no girl really used to get at me. No, you had a Honda Civic and you were eating ramen noodles. Now you're in your 40s, You're 50s, you got a house, maybe you got an Acura or something, I don't know, a Porsche, I don't know what you're driving. Now you're feeling yourself a little bit, and there's some younger girls paying you attention. Maybe you stay in the gym a lot, blah, 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 blah. Come on, man, stop. Leave these girls, these little girls alone. Well, she's an OnlyFans model. That's a little girl, man. 5 years ago, she was in high school. Your brain, you can't be that horny. You can't be this desperate for sex that, like, you shut your brain off. Like, you gotta think through some stuff. You gotta think through, like, what are you talking about? Even if the girl did like you and wanted to get at you, you gotta be the man around here. I'm talking to the man.
Yeah, let me pause on that because he really, really had a significant point. This is the problem. You have the male incubus who wants to relive his high school fantasies because back in the day, maybe he was not that attractive. He was either the square, he was the, the guy that was overlooked. He wasn't popular. He wasn't part with the jocks. He wasn't the most athletic, probably. Basically, females was not checking for him. He was a square. He was riding a school bus. I mean, his parents was dropping him off. So now, once that square who was overlooked, who didn't get attention from females, within his age frame at that time. Now that he's a grown man, he's successful. He's driving nice cars. He's making a lot of money. And now he feels entitled to getting any woman he wants, even if she is underage, even if she's a young adult. Okay, so he wants to relive that high school fantasy that he felt he was robbed of when he was a young dude, because women wasn't looking at him like that. He was broke, busted, disgusted. And women wasn't checking for them. I mean, girls in high school wasn't checking. Girls in high school was checking for the jocks. They was checking for the popular guys. They was checking for the guys who had their first car, who was driving themselves to school, stuff like that. And maybe he was one of those guys that would just strike out. I mean, I felt that way with Kevin Hart. I feel like Kevin Hart was one of those short Napoleon dudes. None of the women was checking for him. And once he became successful, with his comedian career, he went out there going after the top tier beautiful women, basically pissed on his beautiful brown skinned wife who stood by him when he was a nobody and nobody was checking for him, and he wanted to trade it in for the light skin. When their pockets start getting big, they start upgrading for a lighter chick. You know what I mean? They want something, as the pockets get wider, they want something brighter. You get what I'm saying? So basically, yeah. So you have a lot of these grown, successful men who are trying to relive that fantasy. Okay? And Shannon Sharp, he probably was not, the most eye-catching looking guy back in the day. And we know Diddy definitely was not. If you look at any of Diddy's old photos, you will see, I mean, just, he looked like Pookie from New Jack City. Nothing was attractive about him, whatever the case is, right? But this is what the male incubus tries to do. He tries to relive his fantasy, and it's easy for him to relive it with a young girl because it's easy to manipulate. And I'm going to let this TikToker actually break that down because I thought she did a very phenomenal job. And I'm going to let y'all hear her intake on it, and then we're going to go from there because I thought she broke it down really good. So let's hear what she had to say.
To my younger self, stay away from older men. They don't mean you well. They don't. They usually just want to take advantage of you. They see you as easy prey, easy to manipulate, easy to groom. You're not really what they want. They just want what you got between them beautiful thick thighs down there. That's it. They don't really want what's in here, and everything that has you went through in here. They don't want that. They just want a pretty face. They just want a nice body. They just want your innocence. I would tell myself, Keep your innocence. Keep it as long as you can keep it. Even if somebody tried to take it, still keep it. It's yours. Take it back. Take it back. That's what I would tell my younger self. I would stay away from those older men. I would.
All right. And listen, a lot of these male incubuses, they're going to get very offended when you bring up this type of content, right? They feel like they should have all the options that they want. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, I mean, come on. Diddy was damn near, he was in his late 30s, approaching his 40s, when he got involved with Cassie, who was 18, who had just turned 19. A lot of these guys, they want these young tenderonis because it makes them not have to accept their age. They don't feel older when they are with women that are young. Younger women make these older guys feel like they can relive their younger days, you know. And not only that, they love the fact that they can control and manipulate these younger women. Why? Because these younger women are inexperienced. They're not all the way fully mentally developed. So while they're still growing and transitioning from girlhood to womanhood, here comes this grown predator Pookie who doesn't think he's a predator because in his mind she's legal. And again, I'll have the same issue with a full-grown woman that's in her 50s and she's checking for somebody's 20-year-old son. Same thing. You can call it what you want to call it. No, you know, I just like younger women. I just like young men. No, you have the spirit of predatory behavior. Something is psychologically wrong with a grown, full-grown man who could get turned on by a young girl that's 20, 25 years younger than him. You have pedophile potentials, and a lot of them don't think that they do because the child, that young girl may have just graduated high school. They feel like, you know, she's not a child that's in elementary or middle school. So the predatory Pookie incubus male, he has already logically made sense of it in his own mind that what he's doing is not predatory behavior. Well, that's not a child. It's not like it's a 5-year-old. It's not like she's 10 years old. They go by this worldly concept that she's 18 because the world says that. Because the world says it's legal. So that mean to tell me if the laws of the land decided to change tomorrow and say a 16-year-old that is now an adult, you mean to tell me you're going to have a lot of grown men now having sexual relations and taking advantage of 16-year-old women? I mean 16-year-old young girls. Why? Because the law say, bunk what your morals say, bunk what your integrity says. And a lot of these men, you know, the incubus male, because not all men do this. You have some men, once they find out a young woman is 18, 19, no matter how voluptuous or attractive she is, he's walking away from that. Why? Because his integrity, he is mature enough to understand that eventually he's going to come with problems. Yeah, you'll have a good time for a little while, but it's going to come with some problems, especially if you are a man that's a brand. You got celebrity status out here. You're an athlete, you're a rapper, you're a producer. And the bad part is now, women are coming at men for things they did 20, 30 years ago. You don't even have to, you know, and I hate to say this, if you're a man who got a rough past and you done did a lot of foul, you know, sexually demonic things, just go ahead and pay your victims off now. Wow. It's in silence. Don't wait for one of them to get bold enough to come forward, and here it is. They all start popping out like roaches. Lawsuit after lawsuit. Smokey Robinson allegedly has a lawsuit of 4 women coming after him and his wife. The beat is just going to continue to go on. You know what I mean? That there's no statutory limit as to how far back a person can go in some of these states. If it happened 30 years ago and that person decides they want to file, now that the accuser is in a damn near in a nursing home, she can do it. He may not even be in his right mind, even remember he had even been with her 40, 50 years ago. She could sue him. That's how bad it has gotten, right? So this is what's going on. You have these grown men who want to fulfill their unhealthy sexual fantasies. And even more so when they have the money and the resources to do it, they know how to program these young women into being submissive and keeping their mouth closed and basically being obedient to them as not only servants but also sexual servants. Now, there's been a lot of people coming for Cassie and dragging her and saying, you know, why she waited all this time. She was down with it too. She would participate in the freak offs too. Well, you got to look at it. The girl was in her 20s. Yeah, she's a full-grown married woman, you know, with a 3rd child on the way. But ideally, Puff was the mastermind. He knew what he was doing. And this is the reason why these pedophile pookies feel so dignified and justified in doing what they do, is because always gonna the world, you know, is somebody that's gonna always condone and make it seem like it's the woman's fault. Diddy knew what he was doing. He got Cassie when she was a child, because let's face it, 18, 19, that's still considered a child to me. My daughter's 24, I still consider her a child. Okay, her significant other, he's 23. I consider him a child. I just, you know, it is what it is, right? So she was a child. What Diddy did was he groomed her. No different from Shannon Sharp. They groom these young women because, let me tell you why. They want to train these young women to please them in ways in which these young tenderonis have not been groomed. They want to be the first to train them how to sexually please them. It's kind of like it's like a freak in training. When you're dealing with a young woman that's not as sexually experienced, they know how they have the advantage of teaching these young women how to sexually please their unhealthy urges. They are teaching them how to, you know, give dome. They're teaching these young girls this. They're teaching these young girls how to do all type of explicit sexual favors. Teaching these young girls how to toss salad. Teaching these young girls how to participate in orgies so they can sit there and view with their own demonic ass lustful eyes. They get turned on watching these young girls get turned out. You'll be surprised that a lot of these male incubus, they got some highly perverse sexual demonic urges that are way above the average sexual fantasies. They take their sexual urges to a whole nother level. You know, they have you experimenting and you performing sexual acts that are out of the ordinary. That's very graphic, nothing intimate, nothing nothing enjoyable, let's say, on the behalf so much of the young woman in who they're trying to capture as their prey. But they basically have the advantage of training them, get them in that bedroom and show them what to do, how to do it. Not only that, they too in turn know how to do things sexually to these young women that a lot of young men their age that didn't have the experience to perform on them. So not only do they groom these young women, but they also turn these young women out. They turn them out because they're more experienced. So they know what to do to make these young women fall for them. They know how to do sexual things sexually to their bodies that these young women have not experienced from guys their ages. When you're dealing with a man that's highly experienced in his sexual nature, he already knows where to go, what to do. He knows how to stimulate you and overly sexualize you. And I believe that is what Diddy did. If let's say allegedly Cassie was performing in orgies and things of that nature, that was because she was groomed how to satisfy those demonic sexual urges, because it was an older man, which was Diddy, who trained her and groomed her and taught her everything he wanted her to know for his own sexual deviant nature. And there's some more things that I could say. Why do you think some of these molesters, they want to get little girls? They want to get little girls under 10, 9, 8, 7, because little girls don't question anything. If Uncle Joe tells you to come in his room 2, 3 in the morning, and you're 6 or 7 years old, your mother's not there to protect you, nobody's not there to see what's going on, and Uncle Joe has trained you to come to his room, because he lives with you know, the child and her parents, whatever the case is, or she may be the child of a single mother, and now uncle whatever lives with her. Because, you know, back in the day, family always stayed with family. I don't think it's too safe now. And he's groomed his 6, 7-year-old niece how to pinpoint coming in his room at a certain time. If I put this handkerchief on the door, if I put this hanger on the door, I want you to come in the room. The male incubus knows how to groom his prey. And he wants someone who is emotionally underdeveloped. They intentionally target young girls who don't have no discernment, who don't have any experience. They know how to start off with bribery, money, gifts, introducing them to a lifestyle that no guy their age, in many cases, has the ability to do, you know, unless they are look up and encounter a young man their age that is just as rich and successful as Diddy or Shannon Sharp. Most of the time, these older successful industry dudes, they go after young girls who they know don't have a lot. Cassie was new to the game. She was not experienced. I ain't going to say she came from nothing, but she came from a lifestyle in which she was not used to the things that Diddy had. Going from a 2-bedroom condo living with your mama and 6 of your siblings, the way y'all all got to share the same box of cereal, to meet this older multi-millionaire man who has introduced you to his 12-bedroom mansion, his 6 cars, luxury cars in his garage, his driveway. To know that you don't have to go back to a life in which you have to share a pack of ramen noodles and hot dogs and pork and beans. This man is introducing you to lobsters, shrimp. Y'all taking limousine rides to these resorts. You know, he's taking you to these luxury shopping boutiques in which there's $6,000 designer bags when you used to coming from a world in which you could only get a City Trends bag for like $10. You know, they know with young women, they're so easy to impress and finesse. They know that. So if you really think about it, all the advantages the male incubus has when it comes to young women that are naive, gullible, and materialistic. And let's face it, most young women are materialistic. Most women, period. No woman wants a broke man. You know, and men try to, like, you know, they try to, what's the word? They ridicule women for that. Oh, she all about $1. Oh, she all about money. And by nature, men are providers. Men are supposed to be able to financially contribute and take care of a woman. But at the same time, what women got to realize is ain't too many men just going to put money out there and you don't give him nothing in return. And once you become codependent on that lifestyle, now you find yourself doing everything you can to please them to keep that lifestyle. Getting that lifestyle and keeping that lifestyle is two totally different things. With the male incubus, once you done got used to him putting money in your pockets, taking care of your rent, your mortgage, you never even have to see your utility, your light bill, your water bill. You done got used to this man taking care of you. Now he has raised the stakes. Oh, I don't mind paying for your mortgage or your rent, but what you gonna do for me? First, he got you by making you think he didn't mind doing that for you. And all that was straight bait and game. And now that you done got used to that income rolling in, now here he goes. He wants to raise the stakes. He wants to make the rules as he goes. All before, he was just looking out for you because he was being a nice guy. He was trying to win you over. He was trying to basically earn brownie points. But now the tables have turned because you done got used to that money. You done got used to that lifestyle. So now you running after him. You chasing after him because you're trying to keep that lifestyle that he done introduced you to. And listen, once you done have steak and lobster, hamburgers and hot dogs just don't hit it no more. A lot of people was dragging Cassie, not understanding. This man groomed her. He gave her everything she wanted. Cassie is from New London, Connecticut. Now, I lived in New London, Connecticut for a little while. And let me tell you something. That's a poverty-stricken area. There's a couple of nice areas. But to me, New London is very kind of poverty-stricken. It's like a urban area. And let's face it, she didn't have the best of talent. I mean, I heard her sing live, you know. But I do love her song, Me and You. It's still hitting to this day. He pushed her up there just so she will become his sexual slave. You know, let's just face it, beautiful, but if she's singing live, she didn't have it. I'm sorry. The notes was trash. She could not sing worth the lick. But what the industry man does, he will tell you, I can make you a star, I can make you rich, I can introduce you to the finer things in life. And he'll let you get famous just enough to be seen on his arms. That way, you'll never ever want to go back to that lifestyle of not being a nobody. So what you do, you tolerate anything he does to you just to stay in that lifestyle. You tolerate him having multiple women on you. You tolerate him being physically abusive. You tolerate him have you to perform all kind of sexual, sick, demonic acts, orgies, freak-offs, whatever. You will do all of that because now he owns your mind. It's like you become his own personal slave. You become like a prostitute to him. You got to do whatever it takes to please your pimp because you don't want to go back. And trust and believe, the male incubus will remind you of that. We ain't even have to look at it for a celebrity status. That's what happened to Ariane and Martell. Ariane didn't have nothing, so the little bit that Martell offered her, it was a lot. She got used to Martell paying her light bill, her water bill, cable bill, whatever. Depending on how low to the ground a woman is, it does not take a whole lot for a man to appease or please a woman. And because Ariane air mattress was that low to the bottom, it didn't take much for Martell to get over on her. Not only that, because of her age, her age at that time. You know, he used all of that to his advantage. So it doesn't just have to be a man of celebrity status. It could be a man who just got a little something something. You know, he got a nice little car. If she's a young female that's not used to much and ain't came from much anything, to her, she thinks she hit the jackpot. When in actuality, she hit a joke. Ariane Air Mattress thought she had hit a jackpot because Martell was doing all of these favors for her, buying her bags, taking her out to these extravagant restaurants when she was probably used to only eating at Shoney's buffet, Chinese buffet. So it don't take much for these older women, these older men, these male incubus, to know how to get in the head of a female that doesn't have confidence, young, immature, has no real understanding as to how a man can manipulate her and rob her of her innocence. That's why Cassie stayed around as long as she did. Diddy made Cassie a slave. Yes, she smiled through it. Yes, she participated in the freak offs. Yeah, she probably even enjoyed it. Hell, you better act like you enjoyed it. What good would it have been for her to admit that she hated it? What good would it have been for her to go against what Diddy wanted, knowing the type of lifestyle she was going back to? And it's easy for everybody else to say, oh no, my peace and my peace of mind is more important than a dollar. I would rather go back to ramen noodles than to deal with a man that's abusive and toxic. Well, that's great for you, but when you're a young woman, you don't have those type of logics. Because again, you don't really know what you want out of life, and in your mind you thinking that is the best you can do until you mature, until you start to gain more knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Your discernment is going to be very much off. Shannon Sharp, on the other hand, he has a fetish. A lot of these incubus men, they have a fetish. Something about a child just turns them on. And there's a mental malfunction when you can't find something sexy and appealing in a woman your age, or even a woman that's a few years young, 5 years, 6 years, something like that. It done got to the point, it's this predatory spirit of they're not even attracted to women. These men are attracted to girls. They are attracted to children. Now I'll say girls, okay, because children is like 5, 4, that's a whole nother level. Girls, 18, 19, 20. They're attracted to these young girls because, for one, they can easily groom them. They can train these girls to be sexually how they need them to be. Two, also, let's face it, some of the incubus males, they have down low tendencies. And they think that being with multiple women is going to take that homosexual urges away. Some of them really want to just be with men. Let's be frank. And they think that the more women that they keep having sexual relations with, it'll make those urges for men go away. Only to still have multiple women, but you still have an undercover desire for a man. You got to realize a lot of these male incubuses, they don't have so much vajayjay, it doesn't become boring to them. They need a new level of stimulation. They need somebody to pluck at their booty strings. It's not, they're not being stimulated as much being intimate with a woman because they don't have so many. So when a man has overly sexualized himself, he loses that stimulation for women, and now he wants to take it to the next level and be with a man. And once he has accomplished that, now here comes another sexual level. Now you want to do orgies with men and women. Now you go to a whole nother level. Not only you want to do orgies, you want to do orgies with all type of sick devices, all of these toys, and now you don't even want nobody willingly giving it to you. You want somebody that's drugged out, passed out, who's totally spineless, where they can't even defend themselves. You turned on taking advantage of somebody that's passed out. That's a whole new level of sexual stimulation. You don't want a woman that's gonna willingly give it to you. You want one that's passed out, laying there like a damn mannequin, and you turned on by that because you can do whatever you want to do to her body, and she can't even fight back. She can't even push you off of her because the drugs got her just that messed up. That's a whole nother level of demonic sexual stimulation. That's why you got some guys, they don't want a woman that's going willingly. They'd rather take it. That's a whole nother level of demonic sexual stimulation. You're the star, you're a celebrity. There's many women out there that just give it to you for free. You don't want that. Because you know why? You don't have so many women willingly give it to you. That's just not exciting enough. It's just not, adventurous enough. No, you want to take it. You want to take the cookie. That's a whole nother level of stimulation other than a woman just willingly giving herself to you. No, you want to take it. Because that's that new demonic sexual stimulation. You see how the stakes keep raising higher and higher? You done been with so many black women. Now you want exotic women. You done been with so many exotic women. Now you want trans now. You don't even want the women no more. You done have so many of them. It done ruin your sexual stimulation for wanting the nature of a woman's body. You want a man that look like a woman, but you know he's really a man. So now you messing with the transmission. I'm telling you, it's a whole lot of sexual demonic activities that are going on out here. Male incubus. No, you don't want a woman. You want a child now. That's that new sexual demonic level of stimulation. In other words, the more and more you introduce yourself to all of these different spirits, and all of these different spirits come from multiple sexual partners that are introducing you to something different. This person over here might have liked it a little rough. Nah, you like it rough. Nah, this person over here that introduced you to different type of genitals. You were used to dealing with women. Now you used to dealing with men genitals. Now you done got introduced to that. The more you put yourself out there, the less you value the nature of sex, the less you value the nature of a woman the right way, the less you value that. It's a lot of drugs out here, and it's not just, meth and cocaine. Sex is a drug. It's a demonic drug. And for some people, it's never enough. They always want more. And eventually it's going to land them somewhere. All of your undisciplined sexual demonic urges are going to eventually land you in some deep troubles that you're not going to be able to pull yourself out of. Shannon Sharp thought it was very funny. He wasn't reading the room what Kat and Monique was saying. He thought it was hysterical. If you pay attention to the interview, he was laughing it off. Know why? Because he had been doing it for so long, he didn't see the harm in it. He had been doing this for so long, he had no problem admitting to another young man that he dealt with women within that young man's age range. That's just how comfortable he has become. This is what happens when the devil has had his way too long with your urges. You don't even see anything wrong with it anymore. Even if somebody calling it out, your morals can't even identify that as wrong anymore, because that's just how long you have been doing this. But anyway, I'm not going to keep this message too long. But I am going to do the Male Incubus series. I got some more material coming up. So be on the lookout for that. Again, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. I would definitely appreciate it. Got some more sermons coming up. Got a lot of new material coming out. So y'all just bear with me. I got some things that I'm working on as well. So once I start implementing a plan on the sermons and the different content that I'm going to put out, I will be posting it in my community tab, so that way y'all can be up on everything that I'm going to be, uploading in the near future. So anyway, y'all, Hope that y'all like today's content. And like I said, I know it was pretty uncomfortable, but this is just the truth of the matter. This is what we're up against. We're up against a lot of these male incubuses out here. Preach to your daughters, preach to your nieces. Make them be aware of the male incubus, especially these older, perverted ass men who think that as long as they're spending money on a woman, that she's a willing participant. Knowing these young girls don't know the game like they know it, knowing they don't have the experience like they know it, but yet they take advantage. So anyway, y'all, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think about the male incubus series. And nevertheless, you know, I will be getting back with y'all as soon as I can. So nevertheless, y'all have a good one. Y'all take care. It's your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my second channel, Mocha's Cafe de Paris. You know, I put it down over there too. That's my co-ed channel for men and women. So please apply the pressure to that like button. It only takes a second. Y'all be blessed. Y'all take care. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.